Skills Passport. Career guidance for high school learners.
Let's be honest, we've all been there. That one high-stakes moment in school when you have to choose your subjects. It feels like this single decision is going to set the course for the rest of your life. And yeah, that's the reality for every single grade 9 learner. The pressure is just immense. We're basically asking them to map out their entire future, but we're not really giving them a compass to do it. And this is what happens. A staggering 86% of learners make this huge, life-altering choice with little to no real guidance. So they guess, or maybe they just pick what their friends are picking, and way too often, they end up on a path that just isn't the right fit for them.
Look, this isn't just about a few kids having a tough time. It's a massive, system-wide problem. We have a whole generation trying to navigate one of life's biggest crossroads, basically blindfolded, and that leads to so much lost potential.
So what do you do about a problem this big? Well, you stop guessing, and you start using science. And that's the whole idea behind a solution called SkillsPassport. It's a platform built to bring data-driven clarity to this incredibly personal decision.
And let's be really clear about this. This is not just another online personality quiz. No, it's a complete end-to-end system designed to take a learner all the way from "I have no idea what to do" to a confident, evidence-based subject choice.
The whole journey is actually pretty straightforward. It's broken down into 3 logical steps. First, you figure out how a learner actually thinks. Then, you open up a world of options for them to explore. And finally, you help them lock in the exact subjects they'll need.
Okay, so let's dig into step 1. It all kicks off with 3 quick but very scientifically designed assessments. We're looking at how a student processes language, how they work with numbers, and how they understand patterns and logic.
The results are then measured on something called the Stanine scale. Now, the crucial thing to understand here is that this isn't about testing what you've memorized for an exam. It's about uncovering your core cognitive abilities. You know, the natural way your brain is wired.
And this is where the magic really happens. The system takes those scores and it matches them to the real-world requirements of over 500 careers. This means the platform suggests pathways that are actually realistic for that specific learner. It's all grounded in data.
All right, so once the assessments create that personal data profile, we move into the next phase, exploration and discovery. This is where things get really fun, because the system uses those results to open up a whole world of possibilities. Now, to avoid just completely overwhelming a student, the exploration starts really broad. The first question is about the big picture. Is this person best suited for an academic, a vocational, or maybe an occupational pathway? From there, we zoom in one level to career areas. Think of these like different neighborhoods of jobs, like healthcare or information technology. And then we get even more specific and go down to fields. So within that healthcare neighborhood, you might find fields like nursing or medical diagnostics. We're getting much closer to the actual job.
And finally, we land on individual careers. This is where a student can see a specific role, like registered nurse or radiographer. This whole layered approach makes a huge world of options feel totally manageable and personal.
And the info for each career is incredibly rich. For every single one of those 500+ options, a learner can watch videos, see the exact subject requirements, check the reasoning scores they'll need, and even look at real South African labor market data. It gives them the whole picture.
So, exploring careers is awesome and inspiring, but you've got to connect it back to a concrete plan, right? How do we get from a potential dream job to an actual grade 10 timetable?
Now this part is really, really clever. The platform is actually set up to know the specific subjects that your school offers. This means every single recommendation it makes is 100% practical and something a student can actually do right where they are.
But of course, technology alone is never the complete answer. The best guidance always combines hard data with real human wisdom. And that brings us to the super important role of the teacher in this whole process.
The platform gives teachers their own special dashboard. They can see what the system recommended based on the data, and then they can see what the student ultimately selected for themselves. They have the final say to review, adjust, and approve the list, which ensures a thoughtful, human-centered decision.
So, after the assessments, the exploration, the teacher review, what's the final result? Well, the whole process comes together in one comprehensive, personalized report.
And this final blueprint really lays it all out. It includes the students' detailed reasoning scores, the list of careers they explored that were a really strong match, and of course, the final approved subject list for grade 10 and beyond.
But this report is so much more than just a piece of paper. It becomes this powerful tool for communication. It completely changes the conversation between students, parents, and teachers, moving it away from opinions and guesswork and towards a shared discussion that's based on actual data.
It all comes down to this one simple but incredibly powerful question. What if choosing your future wasn't just a guess, but a science? For an entire generation of learners, that could change absolutely everything.
Skills Passport. Career guidance for high school learners.